what you guys are grappling with now is the past, right? And more or less the message that I'm getting here is you're still identifying with this past person. And by past person, I mean yourself. It's like almost as if, and I call it this with my clients, I say, like, whenever we experience trauma or we experience wounds in our life, it's almost as if from the moment we were traumatized, we put on these wounded glasses, and now we only see life through these wounds. And so it skews our perception on things, right? But I feel like in some way or another, something is kind of bringing this to the surface for you all, and I feel like you guys are kind of coming to terms with that. And it's coming from self-reflection. So it's like, it's kind of like you guys coming to this place where, all right, I'm looking at me. Let's see what's going on here. But if you don't see that, then this is what's going on. It's seeing that a lot of the issues and challenges that one faces presently is intricately related to trying to avoid pains that you experienced in the past, right? So if I trusted someone and this person broke my trust, it's like, instead of going to the middle ground of saying, you know, I'm going to set boundaries, it's like, I'm not trusting anyone type of deal. Or if I've gotten hurt in several love relationships, it's like, I'm just not dating anymore. So if I dated 2 narcissists, that's it, hanging it up, no more dating for me type of deal. So I think it's like starting to come to terms with things of the sort, right? It's kind of like when I was joking with you guys about scheduling like your ascension, right? So it's like by January 1, I will be ascended, right? I think digging this deep into these things, and rightfully so, it kicks up a lot of dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I always say that, like, literally, if you're one of my clients, you know this. As soon as you become my client, it's like a whole packet that you get, right? And it's like my statement of practice that tells you my therapeutic approach and about the counseling process, rules, regulations, ethics, all that good stuff, right? There's a section in there where I talk about what to expect for those who have never been to counseling or therapy before, right? And one of the things I say in there is that throughout the therapeutic process, you may find that there are times that things seem to get worse before they get better, because what we're doing is we're digging deeper into things that we've put like a cap on, a lock on, we've locked away and put away. So when you come into contact with, you know, a healer, counselor, whatever, anyone who becomes a catalyst in your life, it's like if everything in your life, like usually when we're wounded, everything in your life will be set up kind of how I described. It's like this very narrow path. When a person who's a catalyst comes along, we fit in to a place that's within your path, but right outside of it. So we're kind of messing up the flow, right? So there may be like a little vault you have over here that's locked, and us like leaning on it causes like things to start coming out, right? So if you think about like, you know, a water bottle, and if there's like, you know, something that's settled at the bottom of the water and you shake it up and it's like, you know, it all mixes up and whatnot. It's kind of like that. And I think that byproduct of touching on something that's painful or something that's traumatic is the reason why I think you guys have put a lot of blockades in to prevent you from going back to that place. Because it could be, you know, I experienced a breakup so bad that it brought me to the darkest place in my life, and I never want to experience that again. So it puts a block of you ever being in said situation so you don't experience that again. Understandable. That's how we survive. It's a survival skill, right? It's a coping type of mechanism, right? But I feel like as you guys are doing this self-reflection, and it's like you're starting to look at things and starting to connect the dots, it's rising all of these things up. Right? But the key is here is to not be overtaken, like to fall into things that we've always done. Like I'm seeing negative thinking and like worrying, you know, or attachments to results of like thinking, because like I said something like last month about you guys saying like, oh yeah, I want to go through the dark night of the soul, but it's like I have to schedule my emotional breakdown because it's like I have a lot of stuff going on and I just really can't have an emotional breakdown right now. You know what I mean? And not to say that this is going to lead to you having one, but it's time to face it, you know? Because looking at the Queen of Pentacles along with the Queen of Wands, those are the two queens in the deck that are both fixated on the past. You know what I mean? So with this being in the center of your spread, it's letting me know that whatever it is you guys have been battling, if you've been looking in your present life, if you've been looking at fears of the future, the issue isn't there. The issue is back here. So whatever that is for you guys in your lives right now, the challenge is for you to finally battle the demon, you know, as opposed to lying in your bed, putting the covers over your head, being afraid, hoping and praying that it goes away. Now it's time to grab the sword and slay the demon. And the way that all proverbial demons are slayed is with truth. So this would allude me to believe we're talking about false core beliefs here. So there's things about yourself that you have begun to self-identify with. I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, or I don't deserve love, I'm unlovable. Things of the sort, right? And those are things, because they're core beliefs, those are the things that are replicating in your external world. But now it's time to kind of face those things once and for all, to cut them out so that you can finally be free to live the life that you deserve. But the thing I'm telling you is that whatever this thing is in the past, right, is intricately related to you guys being at this step. So who I'm talking to, it would be that the theme of your life has been always almost being right there and then things not working. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's like that song by Alanis Morissette, Ironic, you know, traffic jam and you're already late, no smoking sign on your cigarette break. It's like 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. It's like meeting the man of your dreams and then meeting his beautiful wife, right? Like that's the story of your life. You know what I'm saying? It's always like there, but not there. And the thing that I feel that the challenge is, this like proverbial demon is intricately related to your past and an experience that you had in your past. So the way that we can align with this is, if this has been the theme of your life, think back as far as you possibly can to like the very first time that you experienced this disappointment, right? Or like the most notable time that you really feel like this hurt you on a core level, where it was something where it was right within reach and then it was taken away from you. And it's a need to go back to that place and explore who you were prior to, how you saw life prior to this experience happening, and how that altered your perception of life. So when you put those wounded lenses on, how vastly different was the perception post than it was pre? You know what I'm saying? And it's a need to not necessarily align, but garner some wisdom from that perception, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because, I don't know, it's all about perceptive to me. It's a big thing about being perceptive. It's a perception. And that's why I'm saying it's like it's a mind thing that's really blocking you guys here. So there's going to be success with this. This is a cycle that's ending for you guys. So it's literally, this is like a roundabout. Yes, you guys are going to gain dominion over this. That's one of the things that need to be healed. With others of you, once you complete this cycle, the goal, the end goal is to live in the present. Because the thing that in the midst of this whole process that you guys have forgotten is your power exists in the present. Your power to change, your power to be another person, your power to create another life. All of that exists in the present moment. It doesn't exist in the past, nor does it exist in the future, because the future is only a byproduct of the present. That is why what you're doing today is 9 times out of 10 what you've been doing for days, months, years, and will 9 times out of 10 be the thing that you continue to do for the next few days, weeks, months, and years. Because it's what you do now that creates the next moment. So if you really want to manifest change in your life, it's done in the present. And it's a need to understand that, to drive that home and to exist in that space. Because the way that we create or cultivate self-fulfilling prophecies is in the fact that if we're living in the past, right? We're in the past energy in the present. The past energy is dead, right? Past can't be resurrected. So that's an energy that's slowing you down. It's an energy that creates stagnancy. So now if I've slowed down to the point that I'm stagnant, then what am I manifesting in this moment? Stagnation. What am I creating in the next moment? Because if this is the present, the next second is literally is the past now, and the next second it'll be the future. If I'm stagnant a second ago, I'm stagnant now. A second from now, I'm stagnant. That's how we carry that into the future. So the denial lies in the fact of not seeing this process. It's not seeing that the thing that you fear the most is being resurrected into the present because my mind is there and now I'm carrying this into the future. So it's like my past is following me everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. And it's all because I'm stuck there. So now it's time for you guys to face whatever it is. For those of you where it's like a father figure type of deal. For others of you, it's just the need to face the demon and to bring yourself back to center in the present moment and understanding the true meaning and the key to life. The 2 keys to life being that your power exists in the present and that the greatest power that all human beings possess that we often overlook is choice. You know what I'm saying? And when those 2 are used together, that's when our lives shift. Choice in the present moment, right? So no longer will you guys be, so this is the beginning of the end. No longer will you guys be stuck at 9. So it's like, these are almost the 2 energies that you were stuck like going between. It's wishes being fulfilled and like them being dashed. You know what I'm saying? And going back and forth here. But it's like now with you guys seeing the connection and seeing that I am the link between these 2 things. And this is somehow related to whatever it is, because Spirit isn't letting me get in y'all business on that. So my assumption is that this is something that's really serious, you know, and private. But whatever happened back here, whatever pain, it intricately related you guys reliving this feeling. Because whenever this trauma, really, princess? Whenever this, I've been talking all day, y'all leave me alone. Whenever this traumatizing event happened, this is the state you were in your life. It's almost like, is that Shakespeare? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It's almost as if the worst of times thing happened at the best time in your life. And that created like this energy stamp to where it's constantly being relived in different circumstances. And the reason why that was happening is because it was unfinished business that needed to be resolved. You feel what I'm saying? I feel like I just taught y'all like my whole therapeutic approach just now. But anyway, so that makes all of this make sense, man. Because it's like one thing that I do know, because I told y'all about my homegirl that does astrology, and she was like telling me about the whole thing like with the twin flame debacle and how these people usually have squares in their chart with something with Saturn and stuff. I don't know. Astrology is really hard, y'all. My brain capacity is like I can't take no more knowledge. But anyway, so with this square and the square happening today, this totally makes sense of why you guys are wrapping this up, because this is like the wake up moment. You know what I'm saying? That opens the door for you to have the love of your life. Because the thing is, this person was always here. You know what I'm saying? But you just never noticed it because of being stuck in this cycle. So I guess what it is, it's like this person doesn't fit your atypical type. That's dope. But the thing is that this person may not fit your atypical type, right? Like they may be different than like what you would usually dig in a person. And I think a lot of that has to do with those wound lenses you guys were looking through that was attracting you to unhealthy relationships of people who reflected the pain that you've been through, because this was like a karmic cycle that needed to wrap up. So you kept attracting people who were allowing you to live out this wound. You know what I'm saying? To like finish the unfinished business. That's literally the whole, like, that's why I said I feel like I'm explaining my therapeutic approach to you guys. The whole premise of Gestalt therapy, if it's nothing else, it's all about unfinished business. And it's the fact that all human beings, the reason why we find ourselves stuck in life is because there's unfinished business that our subconscious is trying to resolve. And the whole reason why we're drawing people to us when we still have those wounds is to resolve that unresolved wound from the past. So until that light goes off and you learn whatever lesson that you needed to learn, you would continue to attract these people to you until you resolve whatever it is that you guys went through. And I think with this person was like in the peripheral of your vision. But the moment that you guys like end this and you see things clearly for what they are, it's like suddenly like you rub your eyes and you open and there they freaking are. This is so awesome. I just want to be invited to the wedding. And I tell all of y'all, just name the kids after me. Princess JR is fine. Just saying. But I think the beautiful thing about that is, because I mean, it's so strange, because that's what, I cannot talk. I just cannot talk right now. But the whole thing I say of like how other people teach me, like how my clients teach me, how you guys teach me, it's like this is literally something I deal with on a daily basis, but it's like just telling you guys story like has given me like a complete perspective about how like the concepts I talk about in the book, what my homegirl was telling me about with astrology and whatnot, with the little squares and things, and like what I read, where's my phone? What I read on in this article, you know? Like how all of these things are interlinked. Like that's just so gangster to me. And that's the thing that, I guess the basis of my philosophy of life is just literally how everything is so interconnected. It's like, I consider it recycled truth. It's the simple fact that like, physics is saying the same thing that spirituality is saying, or the New Age movement is saying, that Christianity said, that psychology says, that sociology is saying, but just in vastly different ways. But it's like at its essence, everyone is telling the same freaking story. And to see that come together on my table, like just that whole conversation that I had like a few months back about the squares in the chart, and seeing that come together with like pathology, that is what the heck I live for. Like that is so freaking beautiful to me. I cannot even. I will see you guys sooner than later because your love readings are coming up. As if you needed a love reading. But anyway, see you guys later. Deuces.